The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
It's the Becky and Boca Show, coming to you live every Thursday night at 6 p.m. from glamorous downtown Boca Raton. I'll show you how to live life in style in one of the country's most elegant cities, nestled right along the beautiful Atlantic beaches between Palm Beach and Miami. So sit back, relax, and let me show you how to indulge yourself Boca style. Hello, welcome to the Becky and Boca Show. Thank you guys for tuning in. I have, as usual, some very interesting guests tonight. My first guests are Danielle Siverman, who is with BYL Network, and Mary Widmer, who is a developer. We've got a lot of interesting things to talk about, so I'm going to start right now with Danielle and Mary. And there is a show called Behind the Gates on the BYL Network, which is Danielle, and it features these magnificent homes that Mary has been developing in Boca Raton, and they're just outrageous. Big, huge, intracoastal, waterfront mansions with absolute detail and just dream homes, absolute dream homes. And I want to hear how you got started doing this. I mean, it was kind of like a second career for you, right?
Well, you're very kind, but thank you very much. Yes, it was kind of a second career in a sense. I did build and develop my own home up north in Illinois 20 years ago.
You got to get a little closer to the mic.
But at down here, I started by doing a large addition on my own home.
Okay.
We purchased a home that was a few years old.
But wait, back up. Illinois, but this is Boca.
Yes, in Boca.
So you did your own home in Illinois?
Yes, I built my own home in Illinois, designed it, built it, did everything. I had a general contractor, but I decided how it was going to look, what the materials were going to be, the same kind of thing that I do here.
Okay.
I have a builder that works for me who does a wonderful job, Ed Clement with Sabre Construction, and he helps me get the job done. But anyway, how I got started was I started by building a house here in Boca. Mm-hmm. I built an addition onto the home that I currently live in.
Okay.
In Boca Raton.
So that was here, okay.
And it was direct intercoastal. We purchased the home. It was about 8,200 square feet. And then we purchased the lot next door, and we added an addition.
Oh, okay.
So a new seawall was involved.
You enjoy doing all this, apparently?
Yeah,
I guess
I just love the whole process. So for me, it's where my passion is.
I guess so.
I have a bachelor's in art, and art therapy was also my study of choice.
Okay.
And so you understand when you study art therapy, not just how art affects you and how you affect art, but also in how colors affect you.
I notice all the colors.
Emotionally.
You were sticking the two homes I saw with the blues and everything, and then the water's out the window and everything just kind of absolutely gorgeous.
Well, you're very kind.
And so you put a lot of thought into that, obviously. I would be
many times I mix colors,
okay,
or I take a color from a swatch and either reduce it or increase it to get the depth of color that I desire in that particular location. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it has to do with using when you're doing luxury waterfront homes, which is what I specialize in.
You are doing top-end luxury homes. You should see these places.
Well, you're very kind.
Wait, like let's give an example of the prices so they know the kind of homes we're talking about.
The homes that I've built are between $2 and $10 million. Mm-hmm. And they've ranged in size to 4,400 square feet to 10,000 square feet in air conditioning.
Yes, I went through the 10,000 square foot one, I believe. Is that the Enfield one?
Yes, that's on 899 Enfield.
Freddie, can we put up the Enfield house, please? Look at that point lot there, corner lot, right on the Intercoastal. And that looks like a nice big wide canal there, too.
It is.
What a beautiful place.
And there's about over 200 feet of waterfront there at 899 Enfield.
So I imagine you're going to put in huge docks so people can put...
the docks are already is a part of that. And the nice part about the Enfield property is it has beautiful views because it's directly across from the mangroves.
I noticed that when I was there. There's no houses across.
There's no
directly
houses,
across.
and there's not really anything going to be built there unless they would build another Toscana building. So off to the north of the house, off the point of the lot, are 2 Toscana towers.
Yeah.
But the views are really incredible because
they are.
mostly what you see are the mangroves. And there aren't very many places. I don't care if you're in Boca or if you're in Fort Lauderdale or even up and down the intercoastal as far as West Palm. There's only so many lots where you have
Where you're
those
not looking
incredible views.
at another house.
That's
But it's
right.
very wide intercoastal area there. But like I live on a canal in East Boca, and you're looking directly across. So, you're looking at them and they're looking at you, which is fine. But here, you're looking on mangroves, which is
It's really
unusual.
quite lovely, and it gets a morning sun because it's eastern exposure.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you get the sunrise, which is really quite nice
Yeah.
in the morning.
very pretty.
The kitchen area, the breakfast room, is round, and it faces the intercoastal and faces those eastern views.
I saw that.
So in your kitchen in the morning, you're going to have that beautiful eastern sunlight.
Wow.
And there are those types of things that I worked closely with Ron Rickert, my architect,
You really give it a lot of thought.
to position it on the lot. He's very good at that. Works very well with
Right.
green energy. And it's very important, the placement, where your shadowing is, where your light comes in,
Sure.
the size of your windows. There's so many things that are involved that are constantly changing, even when you're starting to build the house. For instance, in the master bedroom at 899 Enfield, we had 2 windows with a wall in the center, and that was at the intercoastal side. Well, you'd lay in bed and look at the wall. Yeah, you could put your TV there, but I'd rather wake up to the view.
Right.
So I broke through that wall and added another center window and put a large 3-paneled window there. So when you wake up, that's the view you see in the morning.
Absolutely gorgeous. Can we ask Danielle right now, how did you get involved with her, and explain what you're doing with her?
sure.
Because it's just a wonderful project.
Well, I met Mary. Actually, we did season 1 with Douglas Elliman and her
Of the show Behind the Gates. We got to
Behind the
explain what that
Grades.
is
Yeah,
first.
so BYL Network is an international broadcast network, and we have several different channels. One of the channels that we launched this past January is called We Boca TV. So We Boca TV had kicked off with some signature shows like Good Morning Boca. We had Behind the Gates. We had some Give Back, Boca Gives Back. So we did a lot of filming the last, I'd say, 9 months to really...
So Behind the Gates is you go to these big homes like Mary's building and you show us the construction of the home, or is it after they're built?
So, great question. So the first season, Becky, we actually did Behind the Gates with Douglas Elliman. They were the title sponsor. They each week featured a different agent and a different house, everywhere from Delray to the ocean to Parkland. And we just did more agent house. So we
Okay.
go into these $2 million to $10 million homes, and we selected only 13 very exclusive properties
They were
that were
already
for
built, though. They were
sale,
finished.
that were completely
Okay.
finished.
That's what I thought.
Ready for sale. Ironically, Mary made 2 out of that 13, which is a huge kudos. Out of all the houses that Douglas
Yeah.
Elliman lists, which, as you know, Douglas Elliman's one of the largest, fourth
Yep.
largest real estate agent in the world. They had selected, we had 2 of Mary's actual home. Prior to me meeting Mary, I was with Michael Predatory, which is her agent, one of her agents, part of the Chad Carroll group. And he was on camera, and we did a whole Behind the Gates at her 4308.
4230.
Sorry, 4230,
Intercoastal
which is
side.
just about 4 or 5 houses down from the house that you just saw.
Oh, okay.
It was another home that she had for sale. She just sold that in June. And we had a Behind the Gates segment. And as I'm going through this house, me as a personal lover of design and decorating, being in TV for 25 years, really having kind of an eye for the before and after, because you have to have a kind of that creative eye in TV.
Right.
I said to Michael, I said, gosh, this owner must be like an amazing decorator. And he said, well, actually, she's a designer, developer, and never lived here. I'm like, there's towels folded perfectly in the bathroom. I was like, wait a second, there's glasses. I'm ready to have a glass of wine. I'm like, are you saying that every little detail
I saw that in the Highland Beach house. Yeah.
in this house, no one's even lived here? And he's like, no. And I'm like, and then of course I said, I got to meet this woman. He goes, well, here's her card. So I take her card. Immediately the next day I called her. We hit it off right away. I said, I've got to meet you. She goes, oh, you're so kind. I said, no, I'm coming to your house. I said, no, I am meeting you, and I want to see, like I want to know you. Like, I want to know what you're doing because you know, it's such a rare thing to see a developer actually taking the time to not only design but also decorate. So,
and she's done several. How many you've done?
Well, I'm on my 11th and 12th home right now.
So they've also, but these last two that you're working on?
That are, well, there's 3. There's one that's finished,
Okay.
that got finished this year.
Okay.
And then there's 2 that I'm building. I'm building 899 Enfield, but I'm also building the house next door, 863 Enfield Street. Getting ready to pour that foundation, that slab,
going.
pretty quick.
she's almost
So
livable.
that would be 11 and 12. So
Wow.
So we are on a roll, yes.
So people are buying these things completely decorated then? Do they take the furniture or does
Most of the time, they take either all of it or the last house that I sold in June, they wanted every dot and twiddle that was in the house.
That's what I would, let her worry about what looks good because I'm not good at that. If you could, isn't it the dream thing? Walk into a gorgeous home and it's all furnished right down to...
It is. You know, one thing I want to add, one thing I really loved about Mary and the difference with a lot of the developers and designers that I've seen is that, you know, she's a mom. You know, she's first of all, she's a female, and this is not definitely go women kind of show, but being that a mom, being a female, being a decorator, being with art therapy, understanding engineering, which has been in her life too, but the detail that she thinks through as if she was going to be in that kitchen. Like, it's like
Yes.
she feels, you know, like she's like, this is, if I was going to live here, what would this woman in the kitchen want? What would the view when she wakes up want? Or he, definitely the husband too. Like, you know, where is he going to be in his office? What is he going to do? Which that time that she thinks through is why that the prices that she gets for her house are very fair, but she's giving them so much more. So that's to
As
me
an example, you showed me, I think it was in the laundry room in the Enfield house, a place where you could wash off your feet when you come in from outside. Do you know how many times I'd come back from the beach, from walking on the beach, and I've got sand on my feet, and I have to like walk through the house and
yes,
and go rinse.
Or the pets,
So
and the
she
kids.
thinks
You
of
can
these
place a little
things.
kid off in there.
We did. We did.
Things like that.
And she has 6 children, by the way.
Oh, you're kidding. And
Yes.
you're doing all this on top of that.
Well, they're older, but now she's got grandchildren. But she thinks through that whole
Right, so she knows.
the process of knowing children, knowing older kids.
Right.
You know, you want to have a place to entertain. You, I mean, I always feel like I'm speaking for you, but the entertainment side. I mean, you know,
I try to think how people are going to live and breathe
How they
in the
live
house.
in the house, not just...
And it isn't just for the people that, well, it's mostly for the people that are there day to day.
Right.
But then you think beyond that. Okay, this is the type of client that's going to entertain.
Entertain, sure.
Who's going to have things catered. Who's going to have place for those people to be, not necessarily interfering
That's very important.
with your kitchen.
Yeah.
So I'm very aware of butler pantries and wine areas and areas where there is juxtaposition of what's important and what works. Whether you're there and you can have your own intimate dining area, or whether you have a crowd
Right.
and you're trying to allow, for instance, in 899, originally in the center of the house, there was an extremely large pantry that I thought was unnecessary. The 12-foot ceilings, the pantry that's going to be in there will probably have shelves to the ceiling. But what I did was I moved that back 2 feet to give the wine area more room to breathe. I have a wine uncorking station and 2 large wine towers and areas for display.
Wow.
And I try to do that so that when you're entertaining, you have this large area outside of that wine area that's all part of the dining room, kitchen, living room experience, where people can stand and have a glass of wine and talk and converse and eat appetizers and enjoy each other's company with not necessarily in the dining room, not necessarily in the living room. So they're like transitional spaces
Right.
that make it sort of give it a different ambiance when it comes to entertaining.
Yeah, and that's important.
I think it's
yeah.
important, especially at this price point.
Right, sure.
And also, this house has a safe room.
Yeah, I saw that. I
took them
so,
in.
Do you put that in all of your homes?
No, this is the first time I've put it in this house.
Okay. And that's multi-purpose, right? You can
Yes.
use it as a safe to store things, or you can go in there if you feel like you
If
need
there's
to.
a hurricane, perhaps,
Oh, yeah.
or if you feel threatened in some
Right.
way. Mm-hmm. Or if your kids just want to play hide and seek.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. I know you have elevators in all of the homes.
Yes, of course.
But are you putting the master bedrooms on the first floor or the second floor?
Depends upon the home.
Okay.
4308 Intercoastal Drive, the home that's for sale, that's $7,200,000.
The Mont King house where they did the filming.
Mont King
that's
house
a
where they did the
gorgeous
filming.
Place.
That house, yes.
The master's
The
upstairs?
master is upstairs.
Okay.
We have a nice large area on the second floor.
I saw that, a whole other family room up there.
Right. And
Can we show that house again? Do you mind?
Yeah, show the one,
in Highland Beach.
the Highland Beach house.
Yeah, the Highland
Freddie,
Beach
please.
house.
You're at 4308 Intercoastal Drive. In Highland Beach, you can get by with that because Boca has some restrictions on the roof. Mm-hmm. You can build a little higher in Highland Beach.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And so you have a little bit more room.
there it is. Okay, look at that.
Yeah, you have a little
Wow.
bit more room. See, that particular foyer area, which has the cupola in the front, that clear story area, I told the architect, and it was Quinn Mikolos, that I wanted that height. So it's 38 feet, 10 inches from the floor to the top of that cupola.
Now, this is direct intercoastal in the back. I know
In
in
the
this
back,
picture.
it
For those of
goes-
you on radio, we're showing this magnificent home.
Right, and it's direct intercoastal in the back. It is
Okay.
western facing. Lovely light-driven space with all of those.
Oh, I know.
windows.
And you have that
tower.
beautiful, the staircase that,
Right? The
that
tower.
the Mob King walks up in his.
He did. It was a cool
He used
scene.
that in the scene. It was magnificent.
So this particular home has the master bedroom on the second floor. Mm-hmm. The home at Enfield has a main floor master bedroom.
Yeah.
So
Do people prefer one or the other?
depends upon whom you ask.
Okay, because if you have an elevator, I don't know what difference it would make.
Mine down here in Boca is on the second floor, and my husband uses the elevator all the time. I use the stairs. I feel like I
Mine's
need.
on the second floor, but no elevator, so we're going to get our exercise.
Yes, so you get your exercise.
Yeah.
My home up north has that. When we built it, we built the master on the main floor.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. But really, you're perfectly correct in saying that it really doesn't matter when you have an elevator.
Right. And you put a lot of bedrooms in these homes because they're large homes and people have people visiting. So how many bedrooms are in most of your homes?
Well, usually 5 to 7.
Okay.
In this particular home, 4308 Intercoastal Drive, that is currently on the market for 7.2, that is already completed. It basically has 7 bedrooms upstairs.
Okay.
Oh, 6 bedrooms up and 1 down, sorry.
Okay.
And a club room, family room, living room, and then upstairs it has the large secondary family room.
A whole family room up there that's gorgeous.
Thank you. It has the beams and trusses
Yes.
and a vaulted ceiling. Mm-hmm. So there are some things that are somewhat compelling design-wise to make it a little different than the norm
Right.
of what you see in Florida. Mm-hmm. So I bring a little bit different twist to the table.
Yes. And how do you decide on the furnishings? Because the second one wasn't furnished yet, but the one in Highland Beach was
Yes.
very, very pretty.
I've worked with many different companies. I go in and choose what I want to put in them.
Oh, you decided. It's not the company that decides.
No,
Okay.
I choose the furnishings. I choose all of the artwork.
So, do you buy the furnishings for the house, or are you just putting
Yes.
it in there, and then if the owner wants to buy it,
I
they
buy
can?
the furnishings
Okay.
for the home at
Okay.
this point. This next house, 899 Enfield, if I decide to completely furnish it like I have the others, there will be a buyback situation with whomever it is that I decide to use as my predominant furniture
Okay, what do you
provider.
mean by a buyback?
In that, say 20% could be exchanged for something else
Oh,
if
in
it was
case
something they
trade
wanted to
out.
alter.
That's okay.
But so far, that hasn't been a big issue.
Oh no, you've got the talent. I would just let you decide if it were my house.
You're
Because
very kind.
You just want
thank
Mary
you.
to come to your house
Yeah,
and just
just-
design it and be like, please,
got it.
please just do everything. Here's the house, the keys, the check,
I'll see
whatever
you
it
in a
takes.
Absolutely, because everything was so soothing in there too. The colors, they were, the furniture very light and a lot of blues, and really looked nice when you look out on the water.
Well, I try to be cognizant of the facts, and the facts are you're on the water, and in Highland Beach, it's a private gate that's less than 2 blocks from the ocean. So you walk to the beach, you leave your car at home,
Right.
and so you're around the water, whether it's the ocean or the intercoastal.
And the pool.
Right. So all of those colors are almost magnetically intertwined in what you would want to do. Not that you want them to oversaturate the environment. And that's why a lot of times I do use some vibrant colors, but I try to keep everything serene and relaxed.
Oh, it's very peaceful. Yes, I noticed that. Very, very
Because
nice.
when you come home, you want to be relaxed.
So what kind of people are buying your homes? Are they retired people? Are they people with families?
We've had
different?
all sorts of people. We've had a couple of different buyers that were actually builders.
Oh, okay.
We had a couple people that were financial bankers.
And are they seasonal, or are they people that are going to live in the houses full time?
Some are seasonal, some live full time.
Well, imagine that as your second home for your vacation home.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know.
Some have children and grandchildren.
And there's plenty of room for all of them in those homes.
So I try to think broadly enough to be able to appeal to all of those people and try and give them elements that they need in order to live in a home like that, not have a lot of high maintenance, not have a lot of things that try to make it as easy care as
I
possible.
got that impression when I walked in there. And now tell us about the kitchen family room area in the Enfield house, because, no, not the Enfield house, in the one in Highland Beach, because that was very nice.
Well, thank you.
That was, I could just stay in that area of the house.
Well, interestingly enough, that was only supposed to be an 11-foot ceiling in that room. And as we were pulling the house together and we were at the stage where you're getting ready to put up drywall, you've still just got your trusses and your walls, just the wood and the metal. At that point, I decided, I really think we need that just extra foot. And what it amounted to do is we had to do some creative things with some of the HVAC, ductwork, etc.
Oh, okay.
Lighting had to be moved, some things like that in order to give us that extra lift. So the interesting thing about that room is it has a full window of wall of windows and doors overlooking the intercoastal. And that room is just around 12, I think it's 12 feet 4 inches tall.
Okay.
So I had the cabinetry built up to the ceiling. I have 3 square windows, which is one of my signatures, where the cabinets are built over the windows, and then they have clear glass fronts and glass shelves, and they have lights in them. So at night you can put things up there that you want to display, and you're either seeing the outside again coming in through the cabinetry, or you're seeing it lit up at night. And you can put whatever up there that you think is
very
pretty. So those types of things that I try to think about, that room is a large kitchen and a breakfast area as a part of it, and then a larger family room. So, and then right outside the doors is the outdoor kitchen, and then another entertainment area.
Yeah.
And that's all right, direct intercoastal.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So tell us about Behind the Gates. You're going to feature these homes in the season that premieres, is it September 25th, right?
Yeah, September 25th. So Behind the Gates season 2 is definitely different than season 1. So season 1, like I said previously, was more houses, agents that were done. Season 2, JMW Florida Properties is the title sponsor, and each week we're going to follow the process of really 899 being built. So Mary will be kind of taking the audience through her development, her designs.
That'd be nice. So
you
she'll
know,
explain
why she does certain things with certain windows, especially in the master, why she opened that up. Again, with the wine area, these are things that people can watch each week as we take you through to the end of this beautiful home. When we reveal this $10 million masterpiece, furnished with the lights. I mean, just the tower, and imagine the lights going in, and the crystal and the glass. We're at the staircase. So the process, there's never been a show like this ever done in South Florida. And featuring Boca Raton, featuring from an economic development standpoint, JMW Florida has really raised the bar when it comes to intercoastal prices, and how these homes that were built sometimes in the 40s and 50s are being sold, for still a lot of money, but the knockdown and the rebuild, especially in a point lot with 899. So we're really showing luxury multi-million-dollar real estate developer Mary Widmer, her with JMW Florida Properties, taking the audience behind the scenes, especially the people that love HGTV.
I love
that
HGTV.
love
I'm
the
really looking forward to this.
And like she's willing, she's giving you tips and she's saying,
give you ideas.
Yeah, the ideas and like these are things that you can do at home, and this is kind of why you're making this wider, and this is why you're putting underlight cabinets here
and a place to wash the sand off your feet.
And the place
everybody in Florida needs that.
Why do you wash the sand off your feet? So
Or to wash your dog there.
right?
Yeah, and
It's a great dog washing
Yes.
station.
So it's like a low sink on the
We
floor.
actually call it a drip dry area.
Okay.
So it is like a low sink, but it's actually tiled like a shower floor with a drain in the middle. But it's deep enough that you can hose your dog down or you can drip dry your hand washed
right, because
laundry.
it's got a drain.
It's a great little spot. Clean those sanded sandals. Wash your feet. Clean your boogie board. Wash
See?
your
all that. My kids were
wash
always
your
hauling that stuff into the
paddleboard.
house with
Well, right,
sand
your-
all over it.
Truly, I mean,
Yeah,
you
that's so
could
true.
almost fit a surfboard in some of them.
Yeah.
Right, because
height-wise.
people in Florida, they go to the beach a lot.
Yes, they do.
And I have
So I
that
try
problem.
to think of those things. In a sense, it's somewhat of a twist on a mudroom from up north.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
And so then you can strip off your swimsuit, throw it in the laundry, rinse everything off, go to your room in a towel.
Right. Because in my house, you're always crunching on the sand when you're walking around on the marble because we
then
come
you can't
into-
get the sand out for weeks.
Oh, no.
In the
It's like
car,
you-
it's everywhere.
Yeah. See, it's things like that really make.
I try to
Make a
make it
difference.
very livable. It's great to have. I have used great architects. Quinn McLose and Ron Rickard are both really well known and have both received accolades and awards. But they also don't always think about exactly how a woman or
Sure.
children are going to function in a home.
Absolutely.
I try to put that maternal thing as a part of it.
Nicely change their design is what she's trying
Yeah.
to say.
There you go. You're a little closer here.
Nicely change the architectural structure. Be like, no, we're not going to put this beam here. No, we're going to make this window here. But they love working with you. I mean, I know Ron's actually a sponsor of the Behind the Gates. You'll see Ron on this
Okay.
season, and Ron does talk about Mary, how he loves the fact that you're working with a designer, decorator that knows what she's doing.
Sure.
And that she could help through that process. Where a lot of sometimes people go to an architect and say, oh, just come up with something for me. She's very involved with that process. She knows she can design, obviously, and do her own blueprints, but she works with the best architects. But one thing
In Boca.
in Boca.
That's
one thing I wanted
fantastic.
you to talk about, which I love about 899, which is really cool, is the garage. What you're going to do in there, and just the landscaping is just going to be.
Oh, tell us.
Well, the interesting thing, we talked about a little bit about the maternal things and about what, as a woman, how you would like your kitchen or how you would want to entertain if you have a lot of guests in the house and you have staff there to help you. Okay, that's one aspect. But we also have to think about the man. And at the Enfield house at 899 Enfield here in Boca, it's a point lot. And as you pull up, there'll be 2 garage doors, but there'll be garages in tandem. So it'll be a 4-stall garage.
Okay.
And I made the ceilings tall enough so that 3 of the stalls can have lifts, car lifts.
Oh, so you could put double the
so
amount of
you
cars in
actually
there.
can have 7 cars in there very easily.
What a great idea.
And in the very front of the garage, we're going to have Ferrari red built-in cabinets.
Oh, wow.
And the garage will also be air-conditioned space. So when I say the house is 10,000 square feet, that's the house. But you also have a huge garage that's 4-stall garage, plus some in the front of the garage that will have red Ferrari cabinets.
And a lot of people that buy these homes collect automobiles, so
And it
that's
will be
really important.
it has its own air conditioning system.
Oh, okay. So you can just
So
control the garage.
it's controlled separately. And each zone
Not
in the
getting in a hot
house.
car, that means getting into your garage
Right.
sweating. Oh my gosh, Mary.
Yes.
See, that's for the woman too.
Yeah, that's for her too. She's gonna
And
get in the car with her nice dress.
Yeah.
And it's air conditioned instead of her getting into a hot garage.
And
Because I'm always saying to my husband, Would you go out and start the car?
Yeah, get the car cooled off before
Get the car cooled off before I have to get in it, would you? And he laughs at me.
Because we pull our hot
true.
cars into the garage and then we just shut the garage door and they're just in there baking. It's like an oven.
Yes, it gets that much warmer. That's right. So there
How
are
many
those.
people are air conditioning their garages? Is this a new thing? Because
I don't know if it's a new thing, but I decided it was noteworthy for this particular home.
sure, yes, and it's an option. You don't have to air condition the garage if it's got its
You
own.
do not have to turn it on if you choose not to. Mm-hmm. There also will be a TV mounted on the wall between these red Ferrari cabinets.
Wow.
So if, say, perhaps we're also going to put one car lift at least in this garage. Say you're trying to do something to your Ferrari and you're not exactly sure how something works. You can turn the TV on
Put a
and
YouTube
Google
video
it.
right up there.
And
Wow.
put your YouTube video on.
Yeah.
Wow.
In order to fix it or maintain it, it's right there.
Uh-huh.
So I thought that might be kind of a collective fun thing to have.
Sure.
So that a guy can go into his garage and do, or a woman, either one, but most of the time it's guys. Or if he has motorcycles, he can line them up and basically do the same
Right.
type for them, be able to maintain them just by the
Now,
Googling
I remember
it.
the front door on that house was very special. Can you tell us about that?
Of course, that was built here in Florida, and it was built by a company called Vintage Ironworks. And I designed that front door, and it came together in sections. Took 6 people to lift the door,
It's
each door.
Very, very heavy. Is it a security? Is that for security reasons? Or?
It's not only security, but hurricane impact.
Right.
It is hurricane rated.
And the glass you're using on those homes looked pretty terrific
Yes.
too.
It's
It looked above the normal hurricane.
Well, they're hurricane impact glass. I used Win doors,
okay.
which are an upgrade over some of the other choices. In the back of the house in particular, one reason is because of the size of the glass. Mm-hmm. It's the company, the premier company around here that makes the best
Okay.
sliders
Okay.
that are large.
Okay.
But the front door is a little bit special
Yeah.
in that there are side lights and transoms and also square windows in the center of each main door. So it's double doors in the front. It's a lot of glass. Again, washing the interior of the space with light.
right.
So it's
Very nice.
it's a pretty awesome. I think it turned out nice. The door is very.
Yeah.
You open that door and take a hold of that handle,
Yeah, I did that. It's
and you
very
know
impressive.
you know you've
It's like a fortress.
Yeah.
you could drive that door.
Yeah.
That's like an extremely expensive door.
I bet. Can you give us an idea of how much that door costs?
Upwards of $50,000.
Wow. A $50,000 front door.
Yes.
Upwards.
So when I say you could drive it,
Yeah.
I mean it.
Yeah, I noticed that door. I'm like, I've never seen one of these before. But those are all the things that makes your home so special.
Yep.
I try not to, if I was going to live there, I didn't want any expense spared if it was me. And I try to build the homes as if I was going to live there. And maybe that's not the best way to make the highest buck, but it's the way to do things the right way.
And they're selling. So
And
you've
they're
got no
selling.
problem there. Now tell me about like the trim work in the house. Like I noticed a lot up here. I mean, everything was spectacular.
Well, the trim in the house, we use all wood, unless it's a round area, and then you have to use a molded material.
Okay.
And then you have it made to match your profile.
Okay.
And all the wood in this house, there are wood beams, there are tongue and groove ceilings.
Yeah, the ceilings in that family room. The wood, what is that?
That's the white tongue and groove.
gorgeous.
And it's a square groove, which is more contemporary. This house is more contemporary.
Yeah.
The inside, as you come in the front door, inside the house, you come directly into the grand salon. And there is a huge 11-foot tall fireplace.
Fireplace, yes, you see that right from the front door.
And it's put together with 4 book-matched slabs
What's it made out of?
of quartzite.
Quartzite. Okay.
Slabs of quartzite.
It was
and they're
beautiful blue
book-matched.
colors, all just.
Blue and taupe and some green. It's called Cortesha. It's very lovely.
Yeah.
And it really makes a large design statement as you come into that room. to have a nice big fireplace
Yes.
covered in quartz.
Right, and you see that right from the front door. And then you've got the staircase going up to the left. What kind of a banister are you going to put on there? There was nothing on there.
That's going to be, there'll be round metal posts, and there'll be glass inserts between them that are suspended by clips.
Oh, wow.
And then when you get to the
So that'll
top,
keep it nice and open.
it'll be open. And upstairs, the foyer is round. It's a round tower in the front, which a lot of the modern homes now are square.
Oh,
so this
okay.
house is very different in that it has a lot of round elements in it, which makes it a little more interesting.
Yeah.
And upstairs in the foyer, if you look straight up, the overlook at the top has a round part of the open hallway, and that will also have round glass
Oh, boy.
for those between those posts, those newel posts. So it's really going to be an impressive staircase element
Oh, I
when
can't
it's
wait
all
to see
finished.
it when
the
it's
railing.
finished. I mean, I saw it now, and it's unbelievable. I can
Well,
just
you're
imagine
kind.
when
Thank you.
when you get the furniture in there. Oh,
We will have to be at our season finale.
Yes, okay.
As we broadcast this and the house is done.
So tell us again. It starts
So Monday, September 25th, we're going to kick off with things that we've been shooting the last 3 months. So kind of the beginning of each room.
How do people find this? Where do they go?
They can go to WeBoca TV.
Okay.
Streaming live. They can see re-airs on Facebook, YouTube, Better Your Life Network.
So it's WeBoca TV. That's all one word.
WeBocaTV.com,
Okay.
BYLNetwork.com.
Okay.
Or they can just find us, at WeBoca TV on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're going to give them links directly to the WeBocaTV.com. It's a streaming 24-hour network, but we are kicking off 9 a.m., 12 noon at lunch. So you'll see it live at 9 in the morning, 12 noon, and then also at 9 p.m. at night. But then if you miss the actual live show, you can go click on demand and watch it anytime you want.
Okay, so we got to wrap up here. Anything else you want to say?
No, we're excited, Becky, that you've invited us. Thank you.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
Beautiful
you.
homes. I mean, that's
You're very
very
kind.
Boca
Thank you.
Raton.
Yes, it is.
Thank everybody for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you so much.
Very interesting stuff. You have been watching and listening to The Becky and Boca Show. Tune in every Thursday night at 6 p.m. to discover all the ways to spoil yourself and have a good time in beautiful Boca Raton. See you next week.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff.